Good morning, friends. I want to speak to you today from a place of hope, strength, and unwavering belief in your future. The title of today's message is simple, yet powerful. Never give up. Life doesn't always go the way we plan. Sometimes we face setbacks, disappointments, and doors that seem to slam right in our face. But I want to remind you, just because it didn't work out the first time, doesn't mean it won't work out the next time. You may be in a season of delay, but that doesn't mean denial. You may have been told no, but that no is not the final word. When you feel like giving up, that's often a sign that your breakthrough is right around the corner. Maybe you've been praying, believing, doing everything right, but you don't see the results. Let me tell you something, every seed you've planted in faith is growing, even if you don't see it yet. It's underground, but it's not dead. Keep watering that dream, keep speaking life over your future, and keep showing up with faith. Don't let the enemy whisper lies in your ear. You'll never recover. You'll never get out of this. You're wasting your time. No, friend, you are closer than you think. You didn't come this far to quit now. When the road gets rough, dig in deeper. When the door's close, praise through it. When it seems like everyone else is ahead, remind yourself that your timing is divine, not rushed. You are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, and you are certainly not finished. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. So today, make a decision deep in your heart. I will not give up. I will not quit on my dream, my calling, or my purpose, because the same God who brought you to it will bring you through it. Your story isn't over. It's just getting good. We all face moments in life when things don't go as planned. You pray for healing, but the condition stays. You apply for the job, but the door closes. You start the business, and it struggles to stay afloat. Those moments can be discouraging, even heartbreaking. But let me tell you, a setback is not the end of your story. It may feel final, but it's not a dead end, it's just a detour. Sometimes, what we see as failure is actually God's way of redirecting us to something far greater than we imagined. What if the closed door was protection? What if the person who walked away was never supposed to stay? Sometimes the things that disappoint us are actually divine interventions. We ask for blessings, but God gives us wisdom. We ask for promotion, but God builds our character first. That delay, that letdown, it may be the very thing that prepares you for the success coming your way. You see, life isn't a straight path. There are turns, valleys, and waiting periods. But those detours are where we grow the most. Don't judge your future by a single season. Just because you're in a winter right now doesn't mean spring isn't on the way. There's a time to plant, a time to water, and a time to harvest. If you give up during planting, you'll miss the harvest entirely. Sometimes we mistake the middle of the story for the end. But what looks like a failure is often just an incomplete sentence in a paragraph God is still writing. Joseph was thrown in a pit before he ruled a palace. David was overlooked before he was anointed king. What looked like setbacks were setups for something better. And the same is true for you. Even when it seems like everything is falling apart, something greater is being built behind the scenes. You may not see the progress, but trust that it's happening. The foundation is being laid. The pieces are being aligned. What you think is a breakdown could actually be a breakthrough in disguise. That, no, may be leading you to the right. Yes, you might be tempted to quit right in the middle of your journey because it's hard, because you're tired, because it doesn't make sense. But that's exactly where transformation happens. God does some of His greatest work in the dark places, behind the curtain, out of you, deep within us. The struggle is real, but so is the growth. And when it's time, you'll look back and see it had to happen this way. So instead of asking, why me? Start declaring, even this will work for my good. That's not ignoring the pain, it's choosing faith over fear. It's standing firm in the belief that God still has a plan, even when you don't understand it. Your setback didn't catch Him off guard. It's all part of the greater story He's weaving together for your life. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're not finished. This setback is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter. Don't tear out the page. Don't close the book. Keep turning the pages with hope, because what's ahead is worth it. The delay, the detour, the disappointment, it's preparing you for something beyond what you could ever ask or imagine. Faith isn't passive. Faith isn't just sitting back and hoping something will happen. Real faith gets up every morning, even when there's no sign of change, and says, I still believe. Real faith keeps showing up, even when the results are slow, even when the prayers seem unanswered, even when the circumstances say otherwise. Faith is not a feeling, it's a decision to trust, a posture of the heart, a mindset that refuses to let go of hope. Some people think if they don't see results, it means nothing is happening. But that's not how faith works. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean God isn't moving. Faith believes that behind the scenes, the soil is shifting, the roots are taking hold, and the seeds are beginning to sprout. Even when there's no visible growth above ground, something is happening below the surface. Every prayer, every act of obedience, every step of trust, it's working even if it's invisible right now. Think about a farmer. He doesn't plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow. He doesn't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. No, he trusts the process. He waters it. He waits patiently. And when the season is right, the harvest comes. That's how your faith should be. Keep watering your dreams with hope. Keep feeding them with words of encouragement. Speak life over what looks lifeless. You might be tempted to think, I've been believing for years and nothing has changed. But don't forget, faith is a journey, not a quick fix. The waiting season is not a wasted season. It's in that space between the promise and the fulfillment that your character is being shaped, your trust is being stretched, and your faith is being strengthened. God is more interested in what He's building in you than what He's bringing to you. There's power in persistence. When you choose to believe day after day, you're building spiritual muscle. You're training your heart to stay steady even when things are shaky. And that strength is going to carry you into your next season. Faith doesn't just change things around you. It changes you. It makes you resilient. It keeps you steady in the storm. It reminds you that your help doesn't come from people or positions or promotions. It comes from above. Sometimes we only activate our faith when we're desperate, but faith should be our first response, not our last resort. It should be woven into how we live, how we think, how we speak. When challenges come, don't just react, respond in faith. Speak words of victory. Declare promises over your life, even when everything around you looks the opposite. That's when faith becomes powerful. That's when it moves mountains. Remember, faith isn't about being perfect. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to have questions. But don't let those doubts drown your belief. When your mind says, I can't, let your faith say, God can. When your emotions say, it's over, let your faith whisper, it's not finished yet. Faith is choosing to believe in the promise more than the problem. It's trusting that what God said will still come to pass, even if it's taking longer than you hoped. Every time you choose to believe, even in the middle of uncertainty, heaven takes notice. You may not realize it, but your quiet, steady faith is making a difference. It's unlocking doors you haven't seen yet. It's preparing miracles that are already on their way. So keep walking by faith, not by sight. Keep doing the small things in faith, because nothing done in faith is ever wasted. There are moments in life when the weight feels too heavy. You smile on the outside, but inside, you're barely holding it together. You wonder if anyone truly sees what you're going through, if anyone really understands. But I want you to know today, you are not alone. Even when people walk away, even when friends don't return your calls, even when it feels like no one notices, God sees you, and He has never left your side. You may feel isolated in your struggle, but you are surrounded in the Spirit. The Creator of the universe is closer than your next breath. He walks with you in the valley, and He celebrates with you on the mountaintop. He knows every tear you've cried, every sleepless night, every time you whispered, I can't do this anymore. And still, He's been there, holding you up, giving you strength you didn't even know you had. Sometimes, we measure support by how many people are around us. But even when the crowd disappears, you are still backed by heaven. God's presence is not dependent on people's presence. He doesn't leave you when it gets quiet. In fact, He often draws closer in those quiet, broken moments. When you feel abandoned by others, It's often a setup for a deeper, more intimate walk with Him. There's a verse that says, "Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me." That means even if the people closest to you give up on you, God never will. He's not like people. He doesn't cancel you, abandon you, or change His mind about you. His love is consistent. His support is unshakable, and His commitment to you is forever. You are not walking through that struggle by yourself. You are not fighting that battle on your own. You have an advocate, a comforter, a healer, a faithful friend who sticks closer than a brother. He's guiding your steps, calming your fears, and working behind the scenes in ways you can't even imagine. You may not see the whole plan, but you're not walking blind. You're walking hand in hand with the one who knows the way. When you feel overwhelmed, don't isolate yourself. That's what the enemy wants, to make you feel alone, to convince you that no one would understand, to get you to hide in shame or fear. But you were never meant to do life alone. God created you for connection with Him and with others who will speak life into your journey. Reach out, be honest, allow yourself to be supported, even in your weakness. You are not disqualified from His presence. God is not disappointed in you. He is devoted to you. When you mess up, He doesn't walk away. When you fall short, He doesn't cross His arms and turn His back. No, He draws closer. He lifts you. He restores you. His faithfulness is not based on your performance. It's based on His promise. So don't listen to the lie that says you've been forgotten. Don't buy into the idea that no one cares. That's not truth. That's fear talking. You are seen. You are valued. You are deeply loved. And even on your worst day, you are not alone. God is with you, and He's not going anywhere. We all hear voices in our minds, some uplifting, some discouraging. And too often, we let the negative ones speak the loudest. You're not good enough. You'll never get out of this. You're a failure. But I want to remind you today, those voices are lying to you. They don't come from truth. They don't come from God. They come to keep you stuck, to silence your faith, and to shrink your confidence. The enemy knows he can't take your calling, so he'll try to get you to give it up yourself. And how does he do that? Through thoughts, through whispers, through lies that sound just believable enough to slow you down. He'll use your past to make you doubt your future. He'll use your weakness to make you question your worth. But those lies only have power if you agree with them. Just because a thought comes to your mind doesn't mean it belongs there. You have the right to reject it. You don't have to meditate on every negative idea. You don't have to accept every critical voice as truth. When the thought says, "You'll never be enough," you can answer back, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." When the voice says, "Nothing's ever going to change," speak back, "My breakthrough is on the way." You see, one of the most important battles you'll ever fight is the one in your mind. That's where the enemy tries to defeat you, before you ever step out in faith. But you have to get into agreement with what God says about you, not what fear says, not what failure says, not what insecurity says. When your thoughts are filled with truth, lies can't take root. Don't give negative voices space to grow. You wouldn't let a thief live in your house. Don't let one live in your head. When those thoughts come, don't entertain them. Speak back with faith. Declare God's promises. Say what He says about you, that you are chosen, called, strong, equipped, and destined for good things. Replace every lie with a truth, and watch how peace begins to flood your heart. Many times, we talk to ourselves in ways we'd never talk to someone else. We're our own worst critics. We relive our mistakes, magnify our flaws, and disqualify ourselves before the race even begins. But that's not humility, that's self-sabotage. You are not defined by your failure. You are defined by your Father. And He says you are loved, you are valuable, and you are enough. The next time the negative voice says, "You'll never recover," remember that God is a restorer. When it says, "You're too broken," remember that God uses broken pieces to make beautiful things. When it says, "You've missed your chance," remind yourself that God's timing is perfect, and what's meant for you cannot be stolen. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be. Those negative voices may be loud, but they are not lasting. You have the authority to silence them with truth. You have the power to speak life, even when death is shouting. And the moment you stop agreeing with the lies is the moment you start walking in freedom. Truth is your weapon, and when you use it, no lie can hold you back. Sometimes, the moments when you feel the most pressure, the most opposition, and the most exhaustion are not signs that you're failing. They're actually signs that you're closer than ever to your breakthrough. The enemy fights the hardest when you're on the edge of something great. He wants to wear you down so you'll walk away right before the blessing shows up. But I came to remind you today, don't quit now. Your breakthrough is near. Think about how dark the night gets just before the sun rises. That last stretch of darkness is often the coldest, the quietest, and the most discouraging. But it's also the shortest. The light is just behind it. In the same way, what feels like the darkest part of your journey may actually be the beginning of a brand new season. God hasn't forgotten you. He's just finishing the final details before the door swings open. The discomfort you're feeling isn't pointless. It's the pressure that precedes delivery. Just like a mother in labor, the pain increases when the baby is about to be born. That tension you feel, that stretching, that opposition, it's not the end. It's the evidence that something is being birthed. Your dream is coming to life. Your prayers are bearing fruit. You just have to keep breathing and keep pushing. Breakthrough doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's a quiet shift, a moment of clarity, a new opportunity you didn't expect. But however it comes, it always shows up right on time. You may not know the day or the hour, but God does. And He never delivers late. Your job isn't to figure out how. It's to keep standing in faith, trusting that it's coming. One of the greatest tests before breakthrough is endurance. It's easy to believe when things are going well. It's another thing to believe when nothing looks like it's working. But your persistence is proof of your faith. Every time you choose to believe again, to pray again, to show up again, you're positioning yourself to receive what's already in motion. You may not see the wind, but it's moving. You may not see the roots growing, but the harvest is almost here. When you're tired and frustrated, it's tempting to say, maybe it's not meant to be. But friend, don't talk yourself out of the promise just because it's taking time. Delay doesn't mean denial. The waiting is often where the deepest transformation happens. God is not just preparing the blessing for you. He's preparing you for the blessing. If you receive it too soon, you might not be ready to carry it. There's a spiritual principle that says right before the walls fall, you still have to march. That's what happened at Jericho. They didn't see a crack in those walls until the final lap. But they kept walking. Faith keeps marching even when the walls haven't moved. Faith says, I don't see it yet, but I believe it's already mine. That kind of faith invites breakthrough to break forth. So if you feel like giving up, if you feel like your strength is gone, if you're wondering if it's even worth it, let this be your confirmation. The breakthrough is closer than you think. Keep praying, keep pressing, keep expecting, because what God has started, He will finish, and what you've been believing for is not only possible, it's already on its way. There will be times in your journey when everything inside you wants to quit, when the progress feels slow, the results feel small, and the effort feels wasted. But in those very moments, you must make a decision to stay the course. Keep doing the right thing, even when it's hard. Keep showing up, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Because every step of obedience, every act of faithfulness is building something greater than you can see right now. Consistency is not always glamorous. No one claps for quiet discipline. No one cheers you on when you choose integrity over shortcuts, when you forgive instead of retaliate, when you pray instead of panic. But the blessing isn't always in the big moves. It's in the daily faithfulness. It's in your willingness to trust God when nothing makes sense and to keep going when quitting would be easier. Sometimes we think, what's the point? I've been doing the right thing and I'm still stuck. But what you don't realize is that you're passing tests in the unseen realm. Every time you stay kind when people are harsh, every time you choose hope over despair, you're growing stronger. You're proving that your faith isn't conditional, it's committed. And that kind of faith always produces fruit in time. It's tempting to want results right now. We live in a world of instant gratification, fast answers, fast progress, fast success. But God's timing is not based on convenience, it's based on purpose. He's not just watching your actions, He's shaping your character. Sometimes the greatest victories come not from the miracles we see, but from the strength we build in the waiting. You may feel unnoticed, like your efforts don't matter, but heaven sees every act of obedience. You're not wasting your time, you're investing it. And God promises that what you sow in faith, you will reap in due season. The hard part is that the sowing season is silent. There's no applause, no immediate harvest, just the steady work of trusting that your labor is not in vain. Think about Noah. He spent years building a boat with no rain in sight. People mocked him. The sky was clear, but Noah stayed the course. He didn't wait for signs, he obeyed the instruction. And when the rain finally came, his preparation saved his family. Sometimes your obedience today is setting up protection for your tomorrow. You may not understand the full picture now, but you're building something that matters. Staying the course isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance. It's saying, I may fall, but I'll get back up. It's choosing progress over speed. It's refusing to let discouragement make your decisions. If you keep showing up in faith, in discipline, you will look back and realize that every small act mattered. You'll see that your consistency was never wasted. So even when no one notices, even when nothing seems to be moving, even when the road is long and lonely, stay the course. Keep praying, keep trusting, keep doing what's right, because the God who sees in secret will reward you in the open. And your harvest is tied to your perseverance, not your perfection.